Yesterday, we told you about the possibility of the US and China going to war, an assessment from an American general. Tonight, we can tell you that they are at war. Not a conventional war, but a tech war. On America's target is Huawei, the Chinese tech giant. The US is banning its firms from exporting technology to Huawei. Washington says it's a threat to national security. It has also accused Huawei of working in cahoots with the Chinese Communist Party. The restrictions began in 2019. You need a government license to export technology to Huawei now. But now Washington says these licenses will not be issued anymore. And Huawei is not the only company on America's radar. It has roughly 175 Chinese companies on its red flag list. It is making regulations stricter. The US is also trying to clip China's wings when it comes to semiconductors. What are semiconductors? Think of them as the foundation stones for making computers, mobile phones, weapons, and almost everything in between. Semiconductors or chips. Now, China plays a critical role in the assembly, packaging, and testing of this component. There are 4 other nations in this club: South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and the United States. And here's the flip side. The big producers and exporters of semiconductors are also the biggest importers. How does that work? You see, the different components needed to make these chips are all imported. China wants to master this game, ramp up its ability to manufacture and beat its rivals. But the United States does not want this to happen. So what does it do? Cut China's access, prevent China from buying the latest technology for semiconductors. How can the US do that? First, it imposed restrictions on exports of chips to China in 2015. Then it extended these restrictions, first in 2021 and then again in 2022. But that wasn't enough. The US needed a concerted effort to contain China. And now it's building a coalition to do this. Who are the members? The United States, Japan, and the Netherlands. As of 2021, the US had a market share of 54%, Japan 6%, Europe another 6%. That's 66% of the global semiconductor market. Reports suggest that these 3 players have reached a deal. They will impose new restrictions on exports of chip-making tools to China. We don't have the full details of the pact, and the implementation could take months. That's because Japan and the Netherlands are still finalizing the legalities. But why Japan and the Netherlands, of all countries? They're at a vantage point in this game. The US wants to keep extreme ultraviolet lithography, or EUV, out of China's hands. This is basically technology which is critical in designing chips. The only manufacturer of this tech is a company called ASML. Where do you think it's based? The Netherlands. Connect the dots. Washington also wants to block the transfer of DUV, deep ultraviolet lithography equipment. This is used in the auto and industrial sectors. Japan aces this technology, companies like Canon, Nikon, and Tokyo Electron Limited, which explains why Japan has been roped in. What will be the impact on China? If the deal goes through, Chinese firms will not be able to import these goods. It will hamper their overall production. China has been quick to issue a warning. It says such a deal will threaten the global semiconductor supply chain. As of today, the US only has an in-principle nod by Japan and the Netherlands. There is no clarity if all these companies will be on board or are on board, but the intentions and the tension are amply clear.